YouTube? December 8th, this Saturday, Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez 4. The final match between these two legendary fighters. It's a fight that's always tough to predict because it really can go either way. The last fight, a lot of people believe Marquez won. A lot of people believe Pacquiao won. You know, a good amount of people thought it was a draw. I mean, I watched that fight several times, and I've had it a draw and maybe a 1-point edge to Pacquiao, but like I ain't mad at the next person saying Marquez won because it was a tough fight to judge. But we're here at fight number 4. Both guys are a year older, and it's gotten to a point now where both guys really know each other's tendencies. Pacquiao, their camp is saying they got to win by knockout. Marquez, they're saying the same thing, and really you should have that mentality going in, but obviously not to be reckless and catch yourself out there. But both of these guys are they're risk takers. Marquez is a counterpuncher by nature, but he'll exchange with you in those while he's countering. He's not like a one-shot type of fighter and gets out of the way. He'll trade with you, and that's where he's had success with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, I believe, in the later years is kind of, I think some people say lost his edge. I think he pretty much is at a point of his career where he believes his I would say his, I mean, you could say his hype. I mean, but that sounds like I'm discrediting how good of a fighter Manny Pacquiao is. But I think a good piece of Manny Pacquiao, as far as why he was the fighter he was, as far as him being ferocious and being more assertive, you know, some of those things kind of die down when you have everything you really want, like that hunger. Marquez still has that because it's looming over his career that he doesn't have a legitimate win over Manny Pacquiao. This is his last shot. And Manny Pacquiao has given up drinking and alcohol, well, you know, alcohol and gambling and all this. But has that made him a softer fighter? You know what I mean? I mean, that could be a good or a bad thing as far as where his focus is. So we're really not going to know that till the fight. But I think going into this fight, when you ask yourself who's got more pressure on them, I have to go with Manny Pacquiao because of the fact that Manny Pacquiao still, in a sense, has a Mayweather fight looming. And, you know, like many of us have said in the last year and a half or so, if the fight doesn't happen the following year, it's over. But I think we could genuinely say that if that fight does not take place in 2013, it's just over with. And if he catches an L to Marquez at this point in his career, he's taken 2 losses in a row. Yo, man, his credibility goes down. I mean, he's already, per ESPN, and I believe Ring Magazine, like, between number 2 and number 4 pound for pound. I mean, this was a guy that we used to call the pound for pound king. We really can't call him that anymore because of how he's looked in his last previous fights. Is that going to translate into a more efficient, more aggressive, more assertive Manny Pacquiao against Juan Manuel Marquez? My gut instinct is telling me that the Manny Pacquiao that we saw against Timothy Bradley is going to be the same Manny Pacquiao that's going to show up against Juan Manuel Marquez. Now, Marquez and Bradley have different styles. Bradley doesn't want to fight with you. Marquez will fight with you. That may be somewhat of maybe Marquez's downfall when it comes to, I guess, taking those risks. The risks, like I mentioned. And trying to get that knockout. Because Marquez's mentality, in a sense, is the same as Manny Pacquiao's. That they need a decisive win. And you can't leave it to the judges, so the other way is to get a knockout. I don't think that's going to happen in this fight. Because these guys, like I said, they know each other so well that I think if anybody's gonna get dropped, it will be Marquez, and I'm just basing that off of the history. Pacquiao's got a hell of a chin, and so does Marquez. But we've seen Marquez drop, not even even past Manny Pacquiao. I mean, he's been dropped by other fighters. So as I mentioned, it's always tough to predict. But I'm just gonna throw a bone out there, man. Like, I'm gonna go with Manny Pacquiao. It's not anything having to do with me thinking that Marquez is on a downslope in relation to Manny Pacquiao, because I think Manny Pacquiao as well is not the same fighter he was maybe 3 years ago. But if I'm picking a guy who I think is going to be maybe pushing the fight and being aggressive and maybe dropping Marquez 1 or 2 times, I'm leaning towards Manny Pacquiao. Does that mean Marquez has no shot? Of course not. Marquez can clearly win this fight. I just think Pacquiao's gonna win. It's tough for me to give you a reason, because I'll give you a reason, but if you tell me a reason with Marquez, I'm like, yo, I agree with you. So I'm just throwing it out there. I got Manny Pacquiao by, again, another decision. Maybe a lot less controversial than the previous 3 fights. So if you want to debate, I'm all for it. I got Manny Pacquiao by unanimous decision, but still a close fight. So let me know what you think. December 8th, Yorkis Gamboa will be on the card. 50's performing. And, that's going to be the last big pay-per-view of 2012. So we'll see what happens. Let me know, like I said, who you think is going to win this fight. And I'll be back December 9th, and we'll talk about it.